Shalom, shalom, family. We are at it again. As always, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Holy One of Israel, who is Jesus. I am Cassius Israel, a.k.a. Kazak ben Yehuda. I represent the Walls of Jericho Biblical and Historical Studies, Hebrews in the Hood Media. And of course, I got my reader here, as always, Big Homie Yurt.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings.
And brothers and sisters, this is indeed a celebration that is going on. Celebration and also after that, more and more work, right? The real work is really about to come because we are definitely in the time of the Great Awakening, brothers and sisters. As far as what I mean by that is that you see that the whole world is turned up pretty much, right? Because you got the Kyrie Irving and Ye conspiracy, so-called conspiracy, right? They trying to make it they trying to make them be the ones that are part of the conspiracy as far as them conspiring. And that's not necessarily the case, right? This is all due to one of the beloved brothers that we know, Ronald Dalton, who has created and executive produced the films, the Hebrews to Negroes film, and the books, brothers and sisters, right? And so we're going to actually go into that and see what the big hoopah is about that, right? We're not going to read a lot of it, but we're going to read some things that will make you understand why they're trying to place what they call this anti-Semitic term, which don't make no sense, because if we're Semitic, how can we be anti-Semitic, right? I guess
they don't know we Semitic,
right?
Or try not to know.
They trying to act like they don't know, but the folks that are saying this, they know that we are Semitic, right? So I guess it's Semitic on Semitic, Semitic on Semitic crime, right?
Hey.
But anyway it goes, brothers and sisters, if this book, and I'm going to put this out there, if this book is in the film is anti-Semitic, then that means the Bible is anti-Semitic. And of course, that can't be the case, brothers and sisters, because it actually exposes the people that are out here, brothers and sisters, right? And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to break this down, but however, we want to play a part of this film. It's just a clip of the commercial. As I want to make a disclaimer, we do not own the rights to this clip, and this is just used for educational purposes only. But one of the reasons why I want to put this out here, brothers and sisters, is because the Walls of Jericho is actually on this film. My beloved brother, Mikhail ben Yesharon Yisrael, he had the opportunity to do an interview.
AKA Hebrews in the Hood.
AKA Hebrews in the Hood. And he had an opportunity to do an interview, and he is on the film. So this is big. This is really big. And we are right in the middle of all of this stuff, brothers and sisters, right? So we're just going to play a little bit of this clip so people can understand where this stuff is coming from, where Kyrie is actually, what Kyrie is actually supporting, things of that nature. Here we go.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
You see, that is in slavery time. They sold the colored people. They sold the colored people. And they bring them from Africa. And they brought me from Africa. I was a child. A boy. And they bring me from Africa. Liberia, Africa, where I was born. And put it in the United States. But the northern people bought colored folks. Put you up on a block and say to you, big Joe, the highest bid to get you. The highest bid to get you. But the northern people bought colored folks. And the south bought colored folks.
How many different tribes are there when it comes to Aboriginals here?
It's probably under 200 now.
I don't see very many.
Nah.
And the ones that I do see, I see with their heads down. I see them homeless.
Yeah.
I see them pretty much sitting out to the outskirts of town. How do the Aboriginals here survive?
Love,
That's
pain,
it, love.
struggle. We always connect. You know, you're talking to one Aboriginal, but if you go to the Darwin or Perth, they'll tell you the same. We all united in this country.
Yes.
We're not divided. We sit down together, no matter what tribe we are.
Yes.
We one people, one voice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Now who roused up the Lion of Judah from his den? Y'all knew it was coming.
All right. Now that I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. But that is the clip to the film, brothers and sisters. That is the second one, actually. The clip to the film that has gotten everybody in this celebrity world, basketball world, even floating to the entertainment world. It got everybody in a frenzy, brothers and sisters, right? And it also is making such headline that the film, the books, they're selling. They're the number one seller on Amazon now. All of this due to the glory of the Most High, Elohim, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, brothers and sisters, right? I want to make also a disclaimer that us at the Walls of Jericho, we don't necessarily subscribe to all the information, but we definitely support our brother Ron Dalton, and shout out to him as well. So let's get into it, right? So what is the issue here, right? The issue is that somebody has stolen somebody's identity and don't want nobody to know about it. And that's why all of this stuff is happening, brothers and sisters, right? Now, we're not going to get into who fits Israel. We're going to show who is why the Jews, the Jewish people are all in the frenzy. We're going to show exactly why that is. One of the reasons is because they know that the children of Israel that are that have been woken up know who they really are. Not only know that who we really are, but who they really are. And they are Esau, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. They are Esau mixed in with Japheth, the Gentiles and the Edomites, who are trying to hold to their position because they know what's coming for them at the end, right? So let's get into this. We're going to start this at Genesis, the 25th chapter. We're going to introduce Jacob and Esau and show you what's going on with that. Excuse me. Genesis, the 25th chapter, and we're going to start at verse 19. Genesis, the 25th chapter, and we are going to start at verse 19. Genesis 25 and 19. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac.
All right, so these are the generation of the Isaac. Remember, we're starting from Abraham. So we're both Abraham's children, brothers and sisters. And we're both the children of Isaac, as we're going to see. But when it gets past that, one is Israel and one is Esau, right? Let's go. You can continue. Go ahead.
And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian.
Go ahead.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
All right, so now let's look at this. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people are separated from thy bowels. As you can see, we've been fighting since the womb, brothers and sisters, right? We have been fighting since the womb, and we have 2 these are 2 different nations, right? We are completely different from our twin brother. Even though he's a twin, the manner of the character, the nations and the character, brothers and sisters, are 2 different people, right? And separated from her bowels. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the elder shall serve the younger.
Oh, so whoever the oldest is gonna have to serve the younger, brothers and sisters. And guess what? We are the younger and they are the elder, and they know that too. They really know that, right? Keep going.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
So we bring in Esau in, right? It said the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So we got Esau there, right? Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
All right, so now you got Esau and Jacob that are now coming out. Remember, these are twin brothers, brothers and sisters, right? So we got we have the actual Hebrew Israelites that come from Isaac, but then you have the Edomites that also come from Isaac, right? These are twin brothers, but they are 2 nations, 2 different nations, and 2 manner of people. We want to remember that, right? Go ahead.
The boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
All right, so remember that. The boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. This is why he going through all this. This is exactly why he was able to do all of this, and you didn't recognize what happened. Because he's a cunning hunter, right? He goes after his prey, and 9 times out of 10, brothers and sisters, he gonna get it, right? Go ahead.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
So Isaac loved Esau, and Rebekah loved Jacob. So both of these boys was loved. So it has nothing to do with that as far as how we ended up in this situation, brothers and sisters. Both parents loved the boys. One parent loved the other. They both loved them, but one parent seemed to favor one, and the other parent seemed to favor the other. Right? Go ahead.
And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Go ahead.
And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom.
Go ahead.
And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright."
Now, I'm not going to lie. Jacob will find the opportunity to get blessed, brothers and sisters, right? Things like that, right? But this is no type of deception, because if you cherish that birthright, it wouldn't have mattered. What was he probably going through? A day of maybe a half a day of not eating? Like, he would have been able to go back to the crib and get some food from his moms or something, right? But he did not cherish that birthright. That's why it was so easy for him to give it up, right? Keep going.
And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me?"
Just that question alone, I am at a point to die, because you haven't eaten in a day. You haven't went weeks without eating. There's people out here fasting for 7 and 10 days, right? I know it ain't been longer than that. So you can't control dealing with the fact that you're hungry. You had to give up the birthright. So you didn't respect the birthright that God gave you, right? You sold your birthright, as we're going to see. You sold your birthright of God's blessings for a meal, right? That is not good, brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead.
And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
Go ahead.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. And thus Esau despised his birthright.
Esau despised his birthright. That is why it was so easy for him to give it up. But now there's a doctrine out there coming from them saying that Jacob stole the birthright. We don't read that here. We read that Esau sold his birthright because he despised his birthright, and he was too hungry for a day to hold off his hunger to keep his birthright, brothers and sisters. And this is where the whole back and forth is coming from. The birthright. At the end of the day, it was all about the birthright, right? So let's get more into the story. Let's go to Genesis, the 27th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 22. I'm sorry. Genesis 27 and verse 22. Genesis 27 and verse 22. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau."
Right. So now let's get some context, right? Because we're not going to read all of that. So Jacob ended up coming to Esau ended up coming to his father. He wanted him to go out there and give him a hunt for his last meal before he died, so he can bless him before he died, right? However, Esau was trying to be slick. And so he was still trying to get the birthright, even though he sold his birthright, right? So Rebecca peeped what Esau was doing, and she had Jacob dress up as Esau, put his put some of his hair on, making sure he had the same scent as Esau did, so the father would think that is Esau, right? And so we are now here where Jacob has gone in, and now he's about to receive the birthright from Isaac, right? Keep going, my brother.
Verse 23. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau as his brother's Esau hands. So he blessed him.
All right. So now you can see he got confused. He wasn't able to discern whether this was Esau or not. So he thought it was Esau, and he went ahead and blessed him, right? Go ahead.
And he said, "Thou art my very son, Esau." And he said, "I am."
Go ahead.
And he said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee." And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and brought him wine, and he drank.
All right. So now he's presented to him his final request that Esau had went out there, and he's trying to still conjure up, right? But here's another thing, brothers and sisters, because people will be like, well, isn't that deception on Jacob's part? No, Jacob knew that this was not necessarily right. That's why he asked his mother, like, well, what am I going to do? Because this isn't right. I'm not Esau, right? But his mother said, anything that happens, the curse is going to fall on her. So she took the responsibility for whatever would have happened to Jacob. She took the responsibility as a parent, but she already was told by God that Jacob was going to get the blessing anyway, right? So it was just a matter of time or scenario where Jacob would have ended up with the blessing anyway, right? Go ahead.
And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son.
Mm-hmm.
And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see the smell of my son. It is at the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine.
Right. As y'all are hearing this, these are part of the blessings that Esau sold to Jacob. Because any way it goes, if you're going to sell the blessings of God, you hate God, brothers and sisters. You hate God. So this is in their history, and they cannot get out of that, right? They got to deal with it, right? This is the big part of the blessing, right? Go ahead.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
Let people serve you, and let nations bow down to you. Talking about Israel. This is the type of stuff that he sold. He didn't deserve it, right? Go ahead.
Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Right. So people better remember that part, because whoever blesses us will be blessed. Whoever curses us will be cursed. If we curse us, we will be cursed, and vice versa, right? So we have to get that in our heads, brothers and sisters, right? Skip down to verse 38 and go ahead.
And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing?
Mm-hmm.
My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Right, so because now he realized that Jacob then got over, and now the blessing has been given to Jacob, brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Mm-hmm.
And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break this yoke from off thy neck.
Right. So now we're going to show that when did Esau break this yoke from off his neck? But once again, brothers and sisters, it is due to the fact that he hated his brother. Right. And this has been following down for generations since Genesis 25. Right. So let's go see something. Right. Let's go to Exodus, the 17th chapter. Exodus, the 17th chapter. So we can really understand what this whole commotion is that's going on in the world today. Exodus, the 17th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 10. We're going to start at 10. I know it says 11 on there, but we're going to start at verse 10. Exodus 17 and verse 10. Exodus, the 17th chapter and verse 10. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
Right. So Amalek is a tribe of Esau, brothers and sisters, more specifically Esau's grandson, Amalek, right? This is where the Amalekites come from, who are the Jewish people today, brothers and sisters, mixed with the Ashkenazi, who are Gentiles as well, right? But as far as the paternal side goes, Amalek is swarming over there, right? But you will see, as we're about to read, 90% of the Jews over there are considered Ashkenazi, right? So, but we want to be more specific because it's the father side that makes you who you are, right? Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
Go ahead.
But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, and one on and the one on the one side and the other on the other side.
Go ahead.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
Go ahead.
And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword.
Right. So this is actually the first war that we had as a nation against Amalek. Right. When we were coming out of the land of Egypt, going into the promised land, we went to war with Amalek. So we were already going to war with Esau, brothers and sisters. But we're going to see something that's real interesting here that God said he was going to do with Amalek from generation to generation. Let's go. Let's keep reading. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the years of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
Oh, they not saying that. I guess that's anti-Semitic, right? Because he said he was gonna utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, and that is going to happen, brothers and sisters, right? But what else did he do? Go ahead.
And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Y'all don't see this war going on that the Most High is putting out with Amalek? He said from generation to generation. But see, now that we got social media and all this stuff, we can see this stuff, brothers and sisters. And why wouldn't he go to war with somebody that stole the identity of his people, right? With their hatred, right? Let us continue. Now, let's go see when that yoke came from up under Esau and this thing kind of flipped around or started to flip around. Let's go to 2 Kings, the 8th chapter. 2 Kings, the 8th chapter. 2 Kings, the 8th chapter, and we're going to start at verse 16. 2 Kings 8 and verse 16. Now remember, brothers and sisters, that the Lord said he was going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. However, Esau was going to gain his dominion with the sword, right? Remember that he's a cunning hunter, and he was going to get his dominion with the sword, right? Who else was a cunning hunter of men's souls, right? More specifically, which is Nimrod. So that same spirit, brothers and sisters, is in Esau as well, right? And we got to remember this as we're going down with these scriptures, right? So 2 Kings 8 and verse 16. 2 Kings 8 and verse 16. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being the king of Judah, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab, for the daughters of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. So
let's just remember, we not innocent either, brothers and sisters. And if we have that in our head, we keep and keep being obedient to the Most High, then we are justified in our anger and things that have happened to us, because we're coming in through our ignorance. And now that we're in the fold, we are being obedient to the Most High God. Right? Go ahead.
Yet the Lord would not destroy Judah for David, his servant's sake, as he had promised him. As he had promised him to give him always a light, and to his children.
Go ahead.
In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah.
In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah. Go ahead.
And made a king over themselves.
So now they're about to be self-governed as far as themselves, brothers and sisters, because other than that, they were under our yoke, right? And so in those days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves, right? Keep going.
So Joram went over to Zaire and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites, which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents.
Go ahead.
Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Lebanon revolted at the same time.
It says, yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day, brothers and sisters, even the day that we are in, right? You see he's going to, you see he's revolting against Judah, brothers and sisters, right? So you have to understand, this is what has been going on from generation to generation. And until the Most High comes down here, brothers and sisters, even Jesus, they're going to keep doing it, right? They're not going to stop trying to conspire and go to war with us, as we will see this, right? Let us continue. Let's go to Obadiah, the only chapter, right? The book of Obadiah. The book of Obadiah, and we're going to start at verse 1. The book of Obadiah, and we are going to start at verse 1. So now we're going to really get into the hatred that Esau has for his brother, brothers and sisters, right? Remember, that is what this is about. This title of this lesson, the title of this lesson is, oh, you didn't know that Esau still hates his brother? You got to look at it like that, right? Because people are out here like they shocked that Esau is still doing what he's doing, right? And he's not going to stop, right? So we might as well prepare our God to do what he does, which is he's going to make war with Amalek from generation to generation. Esau just in general, brothers and sisters, right? Obadiah, the book of Obadiah, and we're going to start at verse 1. The book of Obadiah and verse 1. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord God concerning Edom.
Mm-hmm.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord. And an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have made these small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
So look, they despised as well, brothers and sisters. They're greatly despised, and they're small among the heathen, right? So don't think that they're not getting hated as well, brothers and sisters, for the things that they did, right? Let's see why they are hated like that. Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of rocks, of the rocks, whose habitation is high.
Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Right. So his pride is why people hate him, brothers and sisters. Just like his pride is the reason why God hates him, brothers and sisters, right? And you hate to say it like that, but this is what the book say, right? So we can't get out of that. Esau is hated by the other nations, and they're also hated by God, brothers and sisters, right? Because of their doings. He's just not hating them. But this man has sold his birthright and has hated his brother and waged war with his brother from generation to generation and won't stop. And that's why he's hated by the Most High. Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars,
go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord.
So since you want to be so high-minded and have so much pride, you gonna get cut down to the ground, brothers and sisters, right? And this is what we are seeing, right? The beginning process of the world being able to see God taking down Esau, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
If these came to thee, if robbers by night.
No, I'm sorry. Skip down to verse 6 and go ahead.
How are the things of Esau searched out? How are the hidden things sought up?
Right. So how are these things sought out? Because the Lord is going to expose Esau, brothers and sisters, right? Because he's a cunning hunter. He's slick. When he starts conspiring against people, you will not know, because he's doing it in the secret places. He's hiding when he's doing it, right? Skip down to verse 8 and go ahead.
Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom?
Go ahead.
And understanding out of the mouth of Esau.
Right. So he's going to destroy the wise men and understanding out of the mount of Esau, brothers and sisters, right? And so we want to be ready for this. And we really want to be ready for this. So enjoy this collapse, so to speak, happening over the world, right? I don't know why I didn't add this other stuff. Skip down to verse 11 and go ahead. I'm going to add that.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was as one of them.
So you were one of the people that cast Jerusalem out while we were being persecuted and taken out of the land, brothers and sisters. They did that when we were in Babylon, and they did that when Rome took us out in 70 AD under General Titus, brothers and sisters. But they were there. And this is for all the brothers that seem to think that the Romans were Edomites. No, it says that they were one of them. Who took us out of the land? Rome, right, in 70 AD. So how can Rome be Rome and then Esau at the same time if it says you were one of them? Who was Rome then, right? That is one of the things we have to think about as well and not be biased when it comes to this book, right? Keep going.
Verse 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother. But thou shouldest have not looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger.
Go ahead.
Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day that in the day of their destruction.
Go ahead.
Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
Right. So, and they still speaking proudly as if they haven't done this thing, brothers and sisters, right? Keep going.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity.
Go ahead.
Nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Or any way it goes, you shouldn't have stolen their identity. When they were going out, you shouldn't have moved in and made it seem like now you are the people of God. You shouldn't have did that. Right now, you're gonna have to deal with the sword that's about to come to you. Right, keep going.
Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossways to cut off those of his that did escape.
Right, so they did all of this, but now they sitting here yelling, "Oh, this is anti-Semitic." Right? How you gonna do this and then turn around and do what you're doing today? Right? That don't make any sense. Right? So the Most High is coming for His people and coming for his land, right? Because they didn't mess that up. Go ahead.
Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of his of distress.
Right, go ahead.
For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall be upon thy own head.
And they know that is coming. Deep down inside, they know that is coming, brothers and sisters, right? But they are trying to prevent it, but you can't prevent this, right? That's why it takes a Kanye West. That's why it takes a Kyrie Irving and for it to spread all over the celebrity world, because he's making you realize that no matter what, prophecy going to be fulfilled, right? It's going to be fulfilled. Skip down to verse 17 and go ahead.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession.
So y'all just keep being patient, right? Because the deliverer is coming, who is Jesus, brothers and sisters, right? Skip down to verse 21 and go ahead.
And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord.
Right. So the mount of Esau, the people of Esau, they're going to get their judgment, brothers and sisters, and it ain't nothing that nobody can do about it to save them, right? But ain't nobody trying to save them, right? Let's keep going. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. So we're going to keep going with the story, brothers and sisters, to let you know this is the reason why they feel some type of way when the children of Israel, the real children of Israel, are waking up and finding out who they are. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
Right, so he gonna set his face against Mount Seir. Once again, the Lord is coming against Esau, right? And he's coming to take down Esau. And ain't nothing, like I said before, it ain't nothing nobody can do about it, right? Go ahead.
And say unto it, thus said the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Right, go ahead.
And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Right, so the people that understand this, they know who they are. Is God anti-Semitic? Because that's what he's saying. Ain't Esau Semitic? So if God is saying that he gonna destroy Esau, wouldn't that be making him anti-Semitic? That's why that term don't make any sense anyway, right? But then you're sitting here saying anti-Semitic. However, you're making it seem like no other son of Noah means anything. If I'm sitting here talking about a Hamite, why is that okay? But if I'm talking about a Shemite, that's not okay, brothers and sisters. Come on now. Let's get for real, right? Let's keep going. Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right? Didn't we just read that? So it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, right? Ongoing hatred for the children of Israel, right? And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. Remember, Esau got his dominion with the sword, right? As the cunning hunter, right? And then it said, force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Keep going.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Right.
Sit down, has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right, so that blood gonna pursue them. I want everybody that's paying attention to this, look at what the Most High is going to do with them going into the future, right? And look what they're doing while they're over there. They're still trying to conspire because of their hatred for their brother, the children of Israel, right? Keep going.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
Go ahead.
And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills and thy valleys, and all thy rivers, and they shall fall that are slain with the sword.
Right. So now this has happened before, brothers and sisters. This is why when they got out of their land, they took over our land and hid, right? That's why after 70 AD, you don't hear about Idumea, you don't hear about Edom, none of that. You don't hear about that civilization at all, brothers and sisters. Like they just disappeared from the map, right? Go ahead.
I'll make thee perpetual desolate, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Right, and it's not going to the return, because guess what? When we get our possession back, we getting that land of Edom. It's going to be our possession, brothers and sisters, right? So they're not getting nothing back, and they know this, right? That's why they're trying to hold on to what they got, right? But let's see what they have said for the Most High to really be like, you know what? Now I'm finna just take y'all out, right? We're gonna see at the end who he gonna take them out with, right? Go ahead.
Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine.
Talking about Samaria and Jerusalem. Say they're going to be mine, right? Go ahead.
And we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there.
Right. That's why they're over there pretending like they're us. Because they took claim on the capitals of the land, brothers and sisters, Samaria and Jerusalem, right? Because thou hast said these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Now they got a whole religion over there, Judaism, claiming that they're the Jewish people and all this other stuff. They are really over there like it's theirs and like the Lord is over there with them, brothers and sisters. This is how far the conspiracy has gone, right? Keep going, verse 11.
Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of the hatred against them.
Go ahead.
And I will make myself known among them, and when I have judged thee.
So I will make myself known among them, right? Look at what's happening. Is he not making himself known among the children of Israel? Yes. Is he doing it through the exposing of the Jewish people? Yes. And we seeing this stuff happening, brothers and sisters, right? Because we are here towards the end of days, right? Keep going, my brother.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all the blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume.
Right, they are laid. So these are the blasphemies that you have said against the children of Israel. and you said that they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume. That's why you were there in the day of their calamity, trying to make sure they were destroyed, brothers and sisters, right? But they can't do what God said is not going to happen, right? And they can't undo what God said is going to happen, right? Verse 13, go ahead.
Thus, with your mouth, ye have boasted against me,
Mm-hmm.
and have multiplied your words against me.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard them.
Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord God, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I'll make thee desolate.
Right, go ahead.
As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Right, and they know, brothers and sisters, exactly who the Most High is, but he's going to show them that this ain't no game, right? He is going to show them by making this place most desolate, right? However, we got to take some responsibility here, right? Because they wouldn't be able to do this if we did what we were supposed to do. So I'm not going to take that out. We're going to have a healthy balance here. And if the children of Israel don't wake up and get back to what they were supposed to do, this stuff will keep happening. Excuse me. But when we go back into the land, this stuff ain't going to happen no more, because what? All the folks that are rebels to the Lord, they're going to be killed before they even get back into the land. And we got to get that in our head, brothers and sisters, right? Obedience over everything, right? Let's go to the next chapter, Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36 and verse 16. Ezekiel, the 36th chapter and verse 16. Ezekiel 36 and verse 16. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land,
go ahead.
They defiled it by their own way and by their doing.
Right, so that's why you're not in your land. That is why you got these frauds over there fighting for a land that's not theirs, because you didn't do what you were supposed to do to stay there, brothers and sisters, right? Keep going.
Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
Go ahead.
Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land.
Oh, so they shed blood. So we shed blood on the land, brothers and sisters. We shed blood of our own people, and Esau shed blood of our people, right? So both of us are tripping. But Esau went to a whole another level, brothers and sisters, right? And his level left him without a civilization, without a land that is eventually going to be ours, right? Go ahead.
And for their idols wherewith they have polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the country.
Right. So now my thing is, if the children of Israel are back in the land, how did they get back? You're talking about 1948, where just and then they didn't even say the children of Israel. It said the Jewish people were going to come back, right? So they don't even use the term Israel. They just use Jewish people, right? And they were brought back by the Soviet Union, which nothing in here says that they were going to be brought back by the Soviet Union, brothers and sisters, right? So we got to understand that those are not the real people in the land, and they know this. Right? Even the Arabs, who are also Semitic, they also know this, right? That's why they're fighting over this place, right? But we got to understand that and be aware of that as well, right? Keep going.
And they were dispersed through the country, according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them.
Go ahead.
And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said unto them, These are the people of the Lord. These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had a pity for my holy name.
I had a pity for my holy name. Right, go ahead.
Which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, Thus said the Lord God, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel.
So I ain't doing this for your sakes, right? I ain't finna come deliver you. I'm not going to come rescue you, doing none of this for your sake because of the righteousness that you did. Let's go see why he's doing it, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
But for my holy name's sake,
Go ahead.
which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went.
Go ahead.
And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them.
Right. So the fact that people still think that this is a religion, brothers and sisters, is part of the profaning of his name. Nobody should even question whether he exists or not. Nobody should question his power, because you shall know who he is, his character in full. He's coming in righteousness, but he's coming in all power and might as well, brothers and sisters. Right, go ahead.
And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, said the Lord God, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Go ahead.
For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land.
That is going to happen, right? So I guess he's anti-Semitic, because he said this is going to happen, brothers and sisters. So just watch it happen and don't try to stop it. Get out of the Lord's way and let him do what he said he's going to do, because it's going to happen, brothers and sisters, right? So remember, he said that Esau, they spoke blasphemy against the children of Israel. Well, what else did he call them, making you know that they spoke blasphemy against the children of Israel, right? Let's go to Revelations, the 2nd chapter. Nobody puts 2 and 2 together, right? Because the world don't know that the Jewish people are really Edomites and not Israelites, right? They did a very good job at hiding their identity, right? How shall the things of Esau be sought out? How shall the hidden things be searched out, brothers and sisters, right? The Lord got to do it. He's got to expose them, right? Revelations 2 and verse 9. Revelations 2 and verse 9. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Talking to Israel, the actual Israelites, right? Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
Talking about rich with wisdom and knowledge, brothers and sisters. That's what you rich with. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
That's the synagogue of Satan, right? The synagogue of Satan is are called Jews, brothers and sisters, but are not Jews, right? So there are fake Jews out here, right? According to the Bible. So we got to think about that, right? If there are fake Jews out here, then the real Jews must be somewhere, right? So where do you think all the frenzy is taking place? Why do you think it's taking place, brothers and sisters? Because the fake Jews are being exposed, right? And we have to know that, right? Let's go to the next chapter, right? Because this was so important, he had to say it again. Revelations 3 and 9 this time. Revelations 3 and verse 9. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Oh, so somebody is lying about being Jews out here, right? Somebody lying, right? Keep going.
Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So whoever the fake Jews are, those fake Jews are going to kiss the feet of the real Jews, right? So obviously these Jews that are out here, why are they going through all this if they're the real people, right? They should come out. They should start coming out with their scholarship, have their scholars debunk whoever is talking about they are the real people with their history, right? Their anthropology and all this other stuff. Use actual education and scholarship to prove that you are the people, instead of going around taking people's valuable things, their money, shutting down their accounts and all this. You don't got to do that if you're the real people. Just prove with the information in front of you that you're the real people, right? Keep going, my brother.
But because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Go ahead.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Right, because a man is not going to be able to take the crown from the people of God, brothers and sisters. And anybody that is part of the Commonwealth of Israel, which is the people of God, right? So we're almost done. Let's go see what Esau has done, right? Esau is part of this conspiracy against the children of Israel. Let's go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Psalms 83. And we're going to start at verse 1. Psalms 83. And we're going to start at verse 1. Psalms 83 and verse 1. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So the people that hate God have created an agreement to come against the children of Israel, as we're going to see. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden one.
Go ahead.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Oh, so there's conspiracy to cut off the name of Israel and to make sure that their name is to be no more in remembrance, right? Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
And let's see who are these people who are consulting and conspiring against the children of Israel. Go ahead.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Oh, there go Edom again. There go Esau again, brothers and sisters, because his perpetual hatred towards his brother, the fact that his brother has this birthright, is making him conspire against Israel, right? His own brother, brothers and sisters, right? Keep going.
And the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes, right? But we are focusing on Esau, right? He is part of this conspiracy, right? So let's keep investigating this, right? Let's go to Malachi, the 1st chapter. We're almost done. Malachi, the 1st chapter. Malachi, the 1st chapter, and we're going to start at verse 1. Malachi, the 1st chapter, and we're going to start at verse 1. Now, the Lord going to remind you who he loves, right? In this particular context. Malachi 1 and verse 1. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
Go ahead.
I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord. Yet I love Jacob.
Yet I love Jacob. Even though Esau was the eldest, even though Esau was originally supposed to get the birthright, it went to Jacob, right? And as Isaac said there, when he was talking to Esau, oh, your brother gonna be blessed. He got the blessing. It is what it is, right? Go ahead.
And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
I just want people to think about this. When the last time you heard about the country called Edom or Idumea, right? That's because he took that away, right? He took away the mount of Esau, brothers and sisters, and they have no land or any possession, and they will not get one back, right? Period, right? Go ahead.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
No, so ain't no building back your desolate places. If you build, the Lord said he was going to throw down. Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
He has said he got indignation with these people forever, so they will never get another position back, brothers and sisters, right? Some of them will be probably part of the Commonwealth of Israel. I'm not saying that, but as a whole, they're done. They are done, brothers and sisters, and that is something the Lord is showing us in these times, right? Keep going.
And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, and the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel.
Right. So ain't we seeing this? We are seeing this, brothers and sisters. You just have to know that they are Esau, that they are the Edomites, right? Verse 6, go ahead.
A son honoreth his father.
I'm sorry, no. Let's stop right there. That's good. Let's keep going. Let's go to Amos, the first chapter, and we got one more scripture after this, and then we got some literature from the Hebrews to Negroes book. Amos, the first chapter, and we're going to start at verse 11. Amos, the first chapter, and we're going to start at verse 11. We're going to remind you the reason why this Esau is going to get punished, all because of his perpetual hatred for his brother and because he despises his birthright. He hates God. He hates the children of Israel. That's why he's hated, right? Amos, the first chapter and verse 11. Whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
That's right. Go ahead.
Because he did pursue his brother with the sword.
Oh, he pursued his brother with the sword. And that's what he's doing. As you can see, that's what he's doing now, because the sword comes upon everybody that's in this celebrity world. If they got attachments to Esau, then he's going to pursue them with the sword if they're saying that they're the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually. And he kept his wrath forever.
And he kept his wrath forever. So don't think nothing is going to change, brothers and sisters, right? Keep going.
But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra.
All right. So look at this, brothers and sisters. The Most High God, even Jesus, is going to punish this people for what they have done, brothers and sisters, right? He said, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. So it's coming. It's going to come, and it's going to come faster and faster and faster, and we're going to just be witness to this, right? But at the end, this is why I want to say, everybody that is from the seed of Israel, and if you're keeping the commandments, remember the patience of the saints. He that goeth into captivity, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, but he that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. So we're going to see who is he going to take down Esau with. Let's go to Ezekiel 25, the last scripture. Ezekiel 25, and we're going to start at verse 12. Ezekiel 25. And we are going to start at verse 12. And whenever you get there, my brother, you can go ahead and read.
Thus said the Lord God, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.
Go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Didnt shall fall by the sword.
Oh, here go the biggest one, brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead, verse 14.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
Oh, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, right? Go ahead.
And they shall do in Edom according to my anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord God.
So keep putting out there that we are the children of Israel. They are not, brothers and sisters. That is Esau, the Edomites over there. And yes, at the end of the day, they gonna get the sword back by the hand of the real children of Israel, brothers and sisters, right? And so let's go read from this. We're gonna see exactly why they are reacting in as far as the Jewish community is reacting like this after all of what we just covered, right? So I want you to read from here to there. Sorry. All right, so once again, this is from the Hebrews to Negroes book. This is by Ronald Dalton, one of our beloved brothers, who they are speaking about as far as this film is concerned. Go ahead.
All right. It is documented that in 740 AD, King Bulan, the king of the Khazars in Eastern Europe, which is modern-day Russia, converted to Judaism and made it their country's new religion.
Right. So this is the part was in modern day Russia where they came from. They are not, the Khazarians are not Russian. However, the places where the Russia is, they come from that area, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
Before the mass conversion to Judaism, from which they adopted the word Jew, the Khazar people were known as the serpent people.
So the Khazar people were known as the serpent people, right? See, I see exactly why they sitting here saying, well, this is anti-Semitic, this, that, and third. But if this is true, why is you running from it? If it's not true, debunk it with information. Don't sit here, oh, this is anti-Semitic. Bring your scholars, your top scholars, and debunk the information that's being said, right? Go ahead.
Christian of Stavelot in the Exposito and Mahatma evangelism referred to the Khazars as the biblical descendants of Gog and Magog.
Right, so that's just one witness. We don't necessarily subscribe to that at the walls of Jericho. That's one witness. But the point that being said is they don't believe that they're the real children of Israel as you're listening to this, brothers and sisters. Right, go ahead.
Who were circumcised like the Edomites and observed all the laws of Judaism.
Right, so now they were circumcised like the Edomites. We just read about the Edomites, right? But the Khazarians and the Edomites, the Gentiles and the Edomites, they mingled together to create what we know as the Jews today, brothers and sisters. Right, go ahead.
Persian historian Ibn al-Faqih wrote that all the Khazars are Jews.
He wrote that all the Khazars are Jews, right? Go ahead.
But they have been Judaized recently.
Right, they have been Judaized recently, right? Or they've been converted recently, which is 740 AD. Go ahead.
Muslim Fadlan, on his visit to the burglars, also reported that the core elements of the state, the Khazars, were Judaized. They were converted. Iraq El-Hayek, the geneticist, from the University of Sheffield, has also admitted with genetic research that the Caucasian, European, Ashkenazi Jews of today are descendants of the Khazars.
Right, so they're not descendant of Israel. So we got a geneticist that had genetic research showing these people are not the children of Israel. So how are they sitting here saying they're not even Semitic, right? The Edomites are Semitic, but they not Semitic. They're Japhetic, brothers and sisters, but they going around saying, oh, this anti-Semitic. No, that's part of the conspiracy, right? The only people that can claim to be Semitic that are over there is Esau, and they're still frauds as well, brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead.
They currently make up about 90% of all worldwide Jews today.
Go ahead.
That being said, this would mean that most of the Jews today are Jews not by blood.
Most of the Jews today are not Jews by blood. Go ahead.
Which are the 12 tribes of Israel. But are Jews by religious conversions. This is called a proselyte.
So they proselytes, brothers and sisters. And this is in this book. My thing about it is, if you think that this is discriminating against them, if you think this is something that's wrong and you saying that this is racism and prejudice, come with the facts, because these people have indeed taken the identity of the real children of Israel. So I hope everybody was edified by that. As always, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Holy One of Israel, who is Jesus. I am Cassius Israel, a.k.a. Kazak ben Yehuda. I represent the walls of Jericho, biblical and historical studies, Hebrews in the Hood media. As always, I want to thank my reader, Big Homie Yurt.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
And brothers and sisters, I'm ready to send this joint up, right? Because at the end of the day, it's too much fraudulent stuff happening. It's too many lies happening. And as you can see, the real children of Israel are bringing scholarship to the table, proving who we are. We don't have to sit here and yell anti-Semitic, and this, that, and the third, right? And so I hope everybody understands this. I hope new people that see this, they understand that, and for the children of Israel to claim their true heritage. Peace and shalom.